on the channel, and like I kept saying and keep saying, I'm sorry for not posting that much. I'm trying to get some good content for you guys, but I'm always super busy here at the shop. Like yesterday, I put this whole thing onto the subframe, the axles in, bolted it on, got this all set up, and put the clutch on. Yeah, so I did all of this yesterday before I went with Chris to the compound. And guys, we're gonna be drifting next week. I'm gonna get my e-brake stuff tonight. We're gonna throw it all in and we're gonna see what's going on with that. But I really want to LS swap my BMW. I really do. Because number one, it's gonna be a drift taxi, and Chris and I were both talking yesterday, and instead of having to stop every time and pick somebody up, you can just tell three other people to pile into the car, and you could just slay the tires right off the car, and it's just going to be super fun. So what I'm trying to get Chris to do is I'm trying to get him to get a drift taxi too. He wants an E36 sedan, so go to his channel and bug him about that. I know you guys are probably a little sick of the drifting, but we both want drift taxis and we both want to slay together. So I'm going to try to work on my LS swap project, and I'm going to also try to work on the 180 a little bit here and there. I've kind of put that onto the back burner because I want that car to come out really, really nice. I want that to be a really good representation of the shop. I want it to be a good representation of myself, that I'm actually starting to move forward and get out of my Haggard days and more into the real project builds and things that are really going to show who I am now as a mechanic and as a person, I guess you could say. So that's that. But this right here is a Z06 Corvette, and today we're going to be putting on an exhaust on it. It still sounded pretty loud before, but I think this exhaust that we're going to be putting on it is just going to make it dumb loud. So I'm going to like it. It's going to sound super sick. Every loud exhaust to me sounds sick, as long as it has a really good note on it. But the really cool thing about this LS is that it is supercharged. I didn't know that the actual Z06s were supercharged, so pretty good thing. 600 horsepower, 600 torque. You definitely destroy some tires with that. But yeah, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get this exhaust on, and then we're gonna put that motor into the car today, and then we're gonna go on to my car and get some of that stuff done and see how well we can lock up that e-brake. So let's get this exhaust on this car though first. Hold on. I did a test rev with just diff dumps, so they just stopped right here, and didn't really make a big difference on the actual sound of the car. So we're gonna see what this does now. I think the biggest thing with this that it did is it lightened it up a bunch, because I picked up the old exhaust and then I felt all this new stuff and it was a lot lighter. What do you think?
I like it because it doesn't have the flappers anymore, so it kind of simplifies the system a little bit. I mean, I know it's nice to have a quiet car sometimes, but this car is such a high performance oriented machine. The flappers are kind of like redundant. It's not a big.
I didn't even know that the Z06 was supercharged until today.
That's cool, right?
Yeah.
And the ZR1 too.
Yeah. So
this is in my opinion, this is my favorite of all of them. I like this setup. The only thing that's kind of iffy on the supercharger stuff is the heat soak.
Yeah.
So anything that you can do to increase the cooling capacity of supercharged models helps a lot. But the heat soaking on these is significant, and you lose a lot of power like run to run.
Yeah.
So if you're like do like a 10-minute session or something like that, when you start, you might have like the full 650 horsepower, but by the end of that run, it's down to like 500 horsepower.
Yeah.
It's crazy because of the heat.
So we're gonna put it back in the dyno now after a little bit later, and we'll see what the numbers are after. And now we're gonna get onto Jason's motor and get that thing in the car today. Guys, so it is now time to be doing the brakes on the BMW. So got this thing in the air. These tires are already shot. Put them on like a month ago. Already corded. Kind of sucks, but whatever. So we're gonna be taking these off, taking the rotors off, putting all the pads and everything underneath, putting in the new limes under here, and yeah, should go pretty smooth. Hopefully it's gonna go pretty smooth, and then we'll be doing some skids by the end of the night. So let's go ahead and get at this stuff. Okay guys, so we have both calipers off, both rotors off on both sides. We only have one of the lines out though. I'm letting this one soak in some PB Blaster because this one's being hard to pull out of there. And I brushed out our slots where our e-brake cables go through right there so that they'll slide into there nice and easy this time. And up here, I got to brush these ones out up here so that we can get those ones in too very easily. So it's going pretty well. We're going to be getting all this stuff back together soon. I have my kit all right here for all the hardware and stuff. And now we're going to go ahead and try to get these shoes on so that we can start doing all that. And then on the actual rotors themselves, we need to go ahead in here and sand down all of that because that hasn't been used in a very long time, and I want that to be really new and nice, so we got to sand all that down. So yeah, guys, let's get to all this stuff. It was not an eventful night for me. The BMW still does not have an e-brake in it, but I'm going to work with Chris on this, and we're going to get a thing set up for it. So last night when I was going to put all this stuff on, I was going through all the parts, trying to get everything put on, and AutoZone, they're good for US cars and things of that nature, but really once it starts getting out of that, sometimes they don't always have the best parts. But I went and I got everything that it said for the year car, and the e-brake cables themselves were wrong. The hardware seemed pretty wrong, and the main part that I needed actually that I got rid of out of the kit was not with this stuff. So I've just decided to go another route. I'm just going to get another hydro for this car, and yes, I know it's going to make it more of like a race car and it's going to be harder to sell if I ever sell the car, but I think it's going to be worth it in the long run because it's just going to be an easier way of using the e-brake and actually stopping the back wheels instead of hoping and praying that the back wheels will stop when you pull up the handbrake e-brake. So we're going to go that route. Inside the car in here, I took a bunch of stuff out, so there is no e-brake handle at all anymore. So what it is it's just a gaping hole right there. But if you guys look into here, it gives you a pretty big area to work with down in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the pull-up hydro e-brake from ASD, and we're going to set that thing all up in here, try to make a nice big mount in there so that it is solidly mounted. And I told Carlos he's got to work his magic back here because this piece right here won't be in here anymore. We're going to have to put a little cover over this so that I can either pull it up or pull it down, up or down, and I can access the lines and stuff like that. So that's what's going to be going on pretty soon. I'm still going to go to the compound next week. We're going to work on our foot braking and try to get that all set up. And yeah, guys, big plans for this car. Hopefully by the end of the year, I'm hoping that everything is going to be going right. If it doesn't, we'll just shoot for the next year. But hopefully everything goes well with that thing and we can get that thing looking sick, slaying the track. What's up, guys? So today in the shop, we've been doing some stuff on this GTR. This GTR is getting a full bolt-on kit, single big turbo, and we're going to be doing some other stuff with that. But that's besides the point. That might be in a later video or just a couple clips in another video. But today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to see if I have clips of the other cars and what I have on my phone. I haven't really been posting all that much, and I need to start doing that some more. So we're going to start doing that. As you guys can see, and as you guys know, there has been stuff that has been ordered, and I have been to the compound a bunch. So this was actually the e-brake from the BMW. I got super frustrated the other day, and I just took it completely out. So I'm like, screw that. And I went out and I bought an ASD hydraulic e-brake, and I bought a cheap eBay angle kit. So it's just pieces that go on the bottom of the hubs, and it allows the tie rods to travel farther. So it moves the tie rod from the end of the hub to the middle of the hub so that it can push it farther. So with that being said, those parts should be here. The angle pieces should be here at the end of the week, and the hydraulic e-brake should be here next week. Chris is going to be doing a couple things for basically the whole month of August, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to get to the compound. I don't want to bring my car and then something happen and then I not be able to get it back to the house and I have to like leave it up there or pay a bunch of money in the towing fees. So I'm just not going to do that. But here in this box, when we were up in Daytona over the weekend, me and Chris got these from Avenue Performance. So right here, this is a steering wheel for the BMW because the one that's in there is just absolutely garbage. So we have a nice steering wheel from Avenue Performance here. We're gonna go ahead and take out the steering wheel that we have in there right now. That looks like complete garbage. And we're gonna go ahead and put this one in. We're gonna do a little comparison and a little checkup on things. This one should be around the same depth that the one that's in the car is. I'm not 100% sure. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this one out and then we're going to compare them side to side, and then we're going to put this one in. As you can see right here, this one has definitely seen better days. It's got, the suede is all torn on it, and it's just actually pretty oily from me not washing my hands before I leave the shop all the time. So we're gonna take this one out, put one in, and see what it looks like inside. I'm pretty pumped. So let's go ahead and get at this stuff. The steering wheel all off, and what I noticed actually was one of these bolts was actually a little messed up. So it's a good thing we're going to use the new bolts that they gave us, and you know, you cannot forget your BMW badge in the center of all this. So we're going to put this onto the new steering wheel, and like I said, here's a little comparison of what they are. So the eBay wheel is just a little bit taller, but that also is a bad thing because it also makes it a lot more susceptible to flexing, while this one has a little bit shallower, but it's a lot more sturdy. So this is actually a mahogany wood with paint over it, and I forgot what she said. I think it's triple sealed with automotive paint. So it's pretty well so that it will not crack or it will not chip. So we're gonna go ahead and put this into the car. The last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna see what size it is. So the size is actually about the same. So we're not gonna be losing any steering wheel circumference, just a little bit of depth. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in the car and see what it looks like inside. And now it looks absolutely sick. I like how it looks inside. I just got to start doing some stuff on the inside now. But out with the old, in with the new. So now, look at this thing. Doesn't flex, doesn't move, looks amazing in here. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull out the steering column just a little bit because, no, honestly, it's good where it is. I like it. It's okay. So we're going to use this steering wheel now. It looks great. And I did get one thing for the 180 over the weekend. So we're going to go ahead and put that thing in right now. It is, let me whip it out of my pocket, this little thing. And this goes around the brake cylinder for the Brake Master. So we're going to go ahead and put this thing in. And then we're going to go ahead and take this thing for a ride. There we go, guys. The HKS koozies all in. Makes that look a little better. This engine bay still needs some cleaning up to do. Let's go ahead and take the BMW for a ride now with this awesome new steering wheel in there and see how she handles. So guys, that's about it for this video. I took the BMW for a ride. It rides awesome. I like the steering wheel. The only thing is that it's a little slippery when you're a little sweaty, but that's definitely okay. But on top of that, Zip Ties came out with some new shirts. This is an awesome one. It's basically like their donuts one, but instead he's eating nuts like bolts as like cereal. So I think that's super cool. But guys, more stuff to come on the BMW. Now that you guys know the big secret and everything that's going on with it, stay tuned for more. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.